Hey F1 fans, and welcome to
Formula
Well, that was an interesting America GP, but most of the action come from turn 1 of the sprint, as the main race was a bit of a dull one. As for my predictions, they were absolutely spot on for a max domination, and Red Bull also listened to me when they had the rear touching and bouncing off the tarmac on Friday practice. So they cut back the rear wing downforce levels, which not only helped Max on the straights, but made the car more balanced. I pretty much called the tyre strategy too, even if the mediums Pirelli bought could have done the whole race, but medium to soft was the most popular choice. Leclerc and Ferrari pulled off what looked to be the perfect tyre combo, if not for a hard-charging Norris in the last couple of laps. But a podium for Leclerc, which is what I was hoping for in my predictions, I will take that to ease my Ferrari pain. So wowee, the championship is well and truly back on for Max, and even he is starting to believe it, so it looks like it will go down to the last race in Abu Dhabi. Let's just hope it doesn't play out like it did in 21, hey? On to a bit more news first before we break down the outcome of the America weekend. And we had a few liveries that come in late, so I actually missed Alpine's, splash of yellow courtesy to Colapinto sponsor Mercado Libre throw on cash at Flavio. We then had Aston Martin throw on some of Lance's homework equations of pi equals dive bomb squared, don't forget to carry the one of Ocon straight to Crashtown. I mean, this guy is still in F1 after years of doing dumb stuff like this. Come on, Daddy Stroll, pull the plug already. On his F1 career, not on Lance himself. We had McLaren throw a bit of chrome paint at the car for a token gesture to Google Chrome, so not much to see here. But the main one I missed was Williams, and nice job guys, I'm really liking this. It's a throwback and it looked great on track too. Even Carlos was trying to give it more coverage by twatting into Antonelli. I've already been over the Haas livery and whatever Racing Bulls called their attempt at a design. Just that. We had Hamilton come out and squash rumours of Horner to Ferrari, saying, I don't think it's a good idea. So is he trying to say he doesn't want Horner, or that he thinks it would be a bad career choice for the Horn Dog? Maybe there are a lot of personal assistants at Maranello. Hamilton also became the first driver to hit 5,000 career points, which is pretty impressive considering Alonso is only on less than half of that, but has raced for 6 more years than Hamilton. Of course, we have the Russell contract announcement with one hell of a dad joke to go with it, and with him looking like Woody all weekend, these jokes just write themselves. So well done George for being a walking meme. Sorry Toto, you'll have to wait till next year to get Max. Who can forget the big drama coming into the weekend with McLaren revealing that there will be repercussions for Norris, but not actually revealing what they are. It is believed that they include Oscar getting preference on how the two cars leave the box for qualifying sessions, if Pastry wants to go out first to get clear track, or like in Mexico, if he wants Lando to go out first so he can get a tow, which could be quite harsh if we get down to the last race and these rules are still in place while they are fighting off Max for the championship. But hey, this is how McLaren want to play the title, then game on for Max. We had Leclerc's birthday and that was kept under wraps for the most part, but a podium in the main race, it was a nice reward, so happy birthday Chuck. We also had Tapegate. Come on Red Bull, grow up. I thought we got rid of these tactics from 21, or at least they were dumped when Horner got dumped. But nope, they're at it again and got a decent fine for their antics. Hamilton was smarter though and put his tape on the side pod instead of on the wall like Lando and McLaren have been doing all year. Apparently this is the first time Red Bull have tried to remove the tape, which has led to McLaren trying to use stronger tape to prevent the Red Bull mechanics from removing it. But this is the first time that the mechanics have actually breached the formation lap procedure after being told by an FIA official to not enter the track, but had the attitude of a 5-year-old and said, "I'm going to do it anyway." It's a bit sad because it has taken all the talk away from a Max domination. Anyway, on to the racing action of the weekend, and here comes Max. The McLaren boys better sort themselves out, because Max will be relentless and doesn't have a strong teammate to worry about. So he is coming in hard for that 5th title, and Crofty even likened it to the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, which I thought was pretty accurate. Or you could probably throw a Jaws reference in. The memes just keep flowing at this point, and I think we will have a title battle right to the end, especially if the McLaren boys can't stop making contact with each other. Come on, that was just, what was that sprint start? It just played straight into Max's hands, and he was able to sail away, and instead of maybe being challenged and possibly losing the sprint, or at the very least gaining only a couple of points, he gained 8, which is massive and more than he gained in the main race. I think Max must have had words with Hulk, because that was just pure great timing, also helped by Alonso stuffing it up the inside of Hulk. It was just set up so nicely, and Hulk smash McLarens. I reckon it was because they didn't celebrate the first podium he got in Silverstone, so he got his own back for that. But come on, what was that, Oscar? You can't be doing the switchback on the first lap and expect everyone to just disappear. So I reckon he had been getting into the American culture a bit too much and decided to take the Family Guy approach. The fallout from this will be interesting, and to see how Zach reacts. I can just imagine all the McLaren haters right now after that shambles. And I wonder if we will start to get a short burst of the 2016 battles flare up. So let's wait for some shenanigans to begin in Mexico. Max is just eating up the papaya points lead, and have Oscar and Lando running scared at the title fight that is coming up fast. He has already gained 64 points in the last 4 rounds and has only missed out on 14 points, which is just metronomic. Max is bashing down the door and no one can seem to stop him. And at this point, it won't help that we're going to Mexico, a track that he really likes. Do you hear that, guys? Before quali, I was fully ready to chuck the SF25 in the skip, but they were actually looking very strong until we had a bit of 6-7 action in the end results. Sorry, I had to put that one in there for my daughters. They'll get a kick out of it. I was also ready for the lift and coast, but it was broken up by too many safety cars, and then the sprint ended under safety car. Huh? So you're allowed to end races under safety cars now? Very interesting. That meant Carlos on the podium, and the support from Carlos was great, and he did his best Bonnie Blue impersonation. Yep. We also had a good old dive bomb from Russell, but Max was able to see it coming. It must be his sloth-like depth perception, yet he did not have sloth-like reactions to it. Then, funnily enough, we had Max questioning the move. Max, you probably shouldn't speak too loudly, methinks. But yet again, Georgia Max doing nothing, and then boom, P1, P2. On to the main race, blink and you'll miss it. If you saw turn 1 and then the last couple of laps, then let me save you the trouble and say you only really missed the Norris-Leclerc battle and a few other scraps down the field, and it was pretty much all done. We did have Franco getting a bit cheeky and being asked to hold positions behind Gasly, but stated that Gasly was slow and there was an immediate pressure from Bortoleto, who was right on his tail, so he decided to say, "Screw you guys," and just nice and neatly stuffs it up the inside of Pierre. And although the team said they weren't happy, I think Flavio would have secretly loved it. And because at the end of the day, he is fighting for his F1 seat, and sometimes you need to be selfish as a driver. So well done, Franco, show him what you got. So a Max domination, who would have thought? Oh wait, this guy did. He almost had a perfect weekend if it weren't for that meddling kid Antonelli. And now we move on to Mexico, where actually Max gets 3 penalty points back after the weekend, if he can keep his nose clean. So let's see if there's any shenanigans on the run down to turn 1, where it can get a little bit tricky because you actually don't want pole here, as everyone slipstreams you down to the first turn, where it has gotten messy over the years. But let's wait and see, shall we? Okay, I'm going to move on to my star and clown of the day. For my star of the day, I should say Max, but Charles fought a McLaren on softs with a full tank of fuel and for a good chunk of the race, which actually helped Max win the race in a way, because Max was able to pull a gap while Charles was fighting for his life. With a slower car and quickly degrading tyres, he held off Lando and secured himself a podium by doing so, and nearly a second place, so that's just outstanding. And it's also star of the day, I guess, for Ferrari, for being so nuts that they gambled on the soft tyre, sort of hoping to actually take the lead if Max and Lando had it coming together. And then we could be talking about a Ferrari win in 25. Just wild scenes if that had happened. As for the clown of the day, I'm going to give it to McLaren, of course, and McLaren as a whole, because with the first corner sprint mayhem, they lost all their sprint running and then they were just guessing on setup for the main race, which hurt them in overall pace. And with a big loss in the Drivers' Championship for both drivers, it's just a bad weekend all round for McLaren. So pull it together, guys, or Max will sneak up behind you. Look out! Anyway, that's my debrief from America. It never gets old. And also a look into what we might expect from Mexico. So let me know what you think of all the drama from the weekend and the chance you are giving Max to get this done in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.